Welcome to the KPC Smart Money Podcast with Kevin and Karen Christ. So, Karen, one thing I've noticed is that the Christmas decorations and Christmas advertisements,
they're already out.
Yeah, they're happening before Halloween now. Christmas has become so commercialized, hasn't it?
It has.
So there's a couple things we want to do today is, coming into the holiday season. We want to talk about what Christmas means to us. And we also want to talk about, not putting yourself in huge, debt.
Right.
Buying stuff that,
we're actually going to do an entire podcast on that topic. For today, we're just talking about traditions.
Right. Okay.
And all of us have, we have traditions we grew up with. We have traditions that we bring into our own families. And then we're at the stage where we're grandparents, so we're kind of moving our traditions around the traditions that the kids are trying to establish. So the traditions do change over time. So I'm going to spend just a second and say what tradition looked like when I was growing up. You had to dress up. Christmas dinner, everyone was dressed up, even the little kids. We all had, very nice outfits on. My mother always fixed Korv on Christmas Eve and Swedish meatballs on Christmas Day. We opened up our stockings on Christmas Eve. We opened up our big gifts on Christmas Eve, and we opened up stockings on Christmas morning. Now, Christmas morning, we got to show up in our pajamas. It was great.
Yeah. Well, there's one tradition that I'm glad it didn't carry on into the Christ family, is that my mother, she got tired of us when we were little kids, getting up early and trying to, get into the presents at, crack of dawn, right? And she wanted to sleep, right? So she said, okay, here's the deal. We're going to give you a stocking. My grandmother knitted stockings with our names on them. They were
cool.
They were handmade. We all had a stocking. And my mother used to put, my sister and I still joke about it. My mother always put a tangerine in the bottom in case we got hungry, so we wouldn't wake her up. Oh. So we always had, every single Christmas, we had a stocking that had all these things that you could do to keep us busy, right? And a tangerine in case we got hungry, right? And so the idea was we got up in the morning and we could go through our stocking, but don't wake mom up until she's ready to get up. And then we get to open. So we didn't have a Christmas Eve tradition, really. We just didn't. We ate Christmas dinner on Christmas, and my grandparents would usually come over, and sometimes my aunt. But it was pretty much Christmas started with a stocking in the morning, and presents when mom got up, right? And then you just played with your stuff and did whatever. We had a tradition because we moved to Florida from up north. And when I was about to be in 4th grade, my sister was in kindergarten. We had a tradition that every Christmas Day we would go swimming in the ocean.
Oh, that's fun.
And there were some days where the ocean could get, pretty cold. But, the ocean in the wintertime in Florida is probably the same temperature as the ocean in the summertime in California.
Yeah.
You think about that. You grew up in California.
I do.
So that was a Christmas tradition. But what does Christmas really mean to us? And I don't want to speak for you, but at our age, it's not, the presents don't really, they're nice.
Yeah.
And it's nice when someone, puts some thought behind it, but it's really about family, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And now we got grandkids.
Oh, this is our first Christmas with grandkids who are going to be mobile.
Yes.
We got one who's walking, and we got one who's absolutely crawling and might be walking by the time Christmas gets here. So, it's going to be fun. And that to us, where we're at now is we just exchange one gift, kind of do the Secret Santa type thing, for the adults. Because the adults, we have what we need. We can buy what we need, but the fun is watching the kids. So the kids all get presents. They're going to get tons, and just watching them open those gifts. But it is about family, getting as much family together, as possible. And, in our house, we would always cut down a Christmas tree the day after Thanksgiving. You know how you get Friday off generally after Thanksgiving?
Mm-hmm.
In my family, that always meant you go to the Christmas tree farm, everybody runs around the whole place drinking hot apple cider, trying to find the perfect tree. And then you'll hear, oh, one's over here and one's over here. And then we finally pick what we think is the perfect tree, and everybody cuts it down. So that was kind of a fun tradition in preparation. And my mom has boxes and boxes and boxes of ornaments that she has saved over 80 years. And so we all get to go through the boxes and, the little ornaments you made when you were a kid. My mom has those,
Wow.
and then she's got the ornaments from different places around the world she's traveled. So her tree is literally a representation of her life.
Did you have, when you were growing up, did you put tinsel on the trees?
Yes. Hang them like little silver spaghettis. You had to drop them. Yes, we did.
Well, we got in trouble one time.
Oh, what'd you do?
My mother said, we want you to put tinsel on the trees, and my sister and I were just taking handfuls and throwing
them
it
at the tree. Oh, and you know how hard that is to get off.
That didn't work out well.
No.
So it took us more time to rearrange the tinsel on the tree. But people don't do that anymore. They use like garland, don't they?
Yeah.
Like wrap around
Because it's
garland.
easier.
Right.
Probably less flammable.
How about, did you have an angel on the top of the tree?
Always.
Gotta have an angel.
Always.
Right.
Yeah.
We had a big fat angel. So you had to pick out a tree that had a place to
long
put the
top,
angel.
yeah, the long
right?
spire on the. Yes, we did.
Yeah.
We did.
It's kind of fun.
And so, it's kind of fun too, though. It's like, so we have your traditions when you were growing up as a kid and when I was growing up as a kid. And then you have your traditions, like what traditions did you keep or did you establish when you were your own family? So
no tangerine.
No tangerine. Right. So listen, every year when the kids were young, I was out hanging lights, decorating trees. The one tradition that has always come through, we still open big gifts on Christmas Eve and stockings on Christmas morning, and Swedish handmade, my great-grandmother's recipe, we hand make Swedish meatballs every Christmas.
That's a tradition I can get behind.
Well, I know. It's pretty good, isn't it?
We had, yes, it is. But we had turkey, just like it was Thanksgiving. We had full turkey dinner every Christmas. That was we had turkey on Thanksgiving, we had turkey on Christmas, and that was just the deal. And then when Christmas was over, it was over. There wasn't any, after, there wasn't anything else. It was just a one-day Christmas thing. We had to go swim in the ocean when we moved to Florida, and that was it. But Karen, now with you and me, with the kids are gone, they
Right.
got their own kids,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think some of our neighbors probably think we're either atheists or Hindus or something because we don't we put a wreath on the door. Isn't that pretty much?
We put a wreath on the door. Well, because it doesn't make sense anymore. Both girls love decorating, and they go all out. I mean, the banisters, the Christmas trees, the presents. I mean, they love doing the decorating, and we're going to spend Christmas generally over the kids' house. So I'm like, why go to all this work to put up a tree when it's just you and I that are going to sit there and look at it, or the neighbors if we, turn the lights off and turn the Christmas. So it doesn't make sense to me anymore.
Speaking of traditions, it's pretty much worked out. It seems like the last, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 years, we wound up at Kara's house.
Yeah.
And everybody goes to Kara's because she likes to have the tree. Now, we did one year at Rachel's, didn't we?
Yeah, and Rachel goes all out on decorating too. So it just depends on who, it just depends on that Christmas and what's going on. And now, so this is just my one last thing. The other Christmas tradition that the kids nixade, say, no dressing up. They do not want to dress up. They want to be casual
Jammies,
and in their jammies.
sweatpants.
So the whole dress up thing has gone out the window,
Mhm.
which I really don't mind.
Nobody dresses up for anything anymore. I mean, we went to a pretty nice restaurant one time. There was a guy in a sweatshirt and his hat on backwards. So I'm going, well, I mean,
Right.
we're sitting there. We're like, they want $90 for a steak, and this guy's got a sweatshirt on and his hat on backwards. People just don't dress like they used to.
Right. Well, let's wrap it up. I love the traditions and I like the ones that have carried on for generations. But at the end of the day, Christmas is just being around family, watching the joy on everybody's face, eating great food, just being together with nothing else to, no work, no nothing, it's just a great time. And, it is a celebration, and it's celebration of faith, which is very important to us.
That's good. I was just about to say that, who's the reason for the season?
Jesus.
That's right. I think a lot of people forget about that part, don't they?
They do.
It's all about Santa Claus.
Mm-hmm.
For us, the reason for the season is Jesus.
Yep.
That's right. All right, dear. Well, it's time to wrap it up, and we got to do some more podcasts for next week and get ready. And so we usually don't do any Christmas shopping till the last couple of weeks of the year, right?
That's true.
So, but we thought we'd get you in the mood. So we'll be back next week with another podcast on KPC Smart Money.
You've been listening to the KPC Smart Money Podcast with Kevin and Karen Christ. To listen to more episodes, visit kpcsmartmoney.com. You can also find the KPC Smart Money Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, and Stitcher.
KPC Financial Solutions is an independent financial services firm that utilizes a variety of investment and insurance products. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through KPC Financial Solutions, LLC, a registered investment company. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any reference to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing carrier. This podcast is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual's situation. KPC Financial Solutions is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during the show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by KPC Financial Solutions. Hypothetical examples have been provided for illustrative purposes only. It does not represent a real-life scenario and should not be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual's situation.